I don't usually do unboxings, but I'm making an exception today because I want to show you just how simple this is to get set up right out of the box. Boom, done. That's it. No tools, it comes completely put together. So here's a quick preview of how this thing looks on the shoulder, but now I'm gonna completely break it down and then we're gonna put it together piece by piece. Before we fully rig this out, I wanna show you just how compact and ready for travel filmmaking this is. So you can throw this in the side of a water bottle holder on your backpack. Sometimes people put little tripods there. So just slide this in, and then I'm gonna use these straps that my backpack has to secure it in place. Just like that. It's ready to go. So it's nice to know that you don't have to completely take this thing apart and put it back together when you get on site. It's gonna be ready to go. So I could see myself taking this onto an airplane, hiking into the middle of the city, whatever it is, and I don't have to worry about wasting all that setup time because it's ready to go right here. Of course, the first thing we always do is throw a base plate on the bottom of the camera, and PolarPro actually included their own, and luckily it is a standard Manfrotto 502 plate. So it's gonna be compatible with most of your standard tripods out there and things like the Ronin S. And something cool about their quick release plate is that you can of course slide in from the back just like normal, or you can actually click it in from the top. Instead of sliding it in, maybe you have a bunch of accessories on and that sort of thing that you don't want to get in the way. Now, if you like running things absolutely bare bones, you're actually already good to go with just this setup. So you click this gold button here on the top to bring these out, and then you press these gold buttons on the handle to drop them down. Then you squeeze in these two gold buttons on the shoulder pad and drop it down to wherever you want. And throw it on your shoulder, and you could start recording. Now, obviously, you can't see the LCD. Luckily, PolarPro has already thought about that. So if you wanna run with just the LCD on the back, you can easily slide the camera forward. All you have to do is pull up on these gold tabs and then press this little quick release button here on the side, and boom, bring it all the way forward like that, and then lock those gold tabs back down again. Obviously, the monitor is pretty close to my face here. It's a little bit too close for comfort for me, but if you wanted to run without an external monitor, you definitely could do it. Just be aware that now that all the weight is out here, it's definitely gonna get pretty tiresome on your arms. They've even made putting the shoulder rig down more convenient with being able to have this kind of act as a stand here in the back, and then of course the arms. Now, you know me, I'm not a bare bones guy, so let's add the first few accessories. Let's throw a V-mount battery on the back, and in order to do that, just pull up on these gold tabs, and then you can pull off the shoulder pad. And then here I have a Tilta V-mount battery plate, and I'm just gonna slide this on. Now I'll put the shoulder pad back on. Let's throw the V-mount battery on there. I'm using this one from FX Lion because it has USB-C PD output, which is what I'm gonna be using to power the Sony FX3. Now let's remove these front grips, which can be done by just pulling up on these gold tabs and then sliding it right off. Now I'm gonna throw a small rig mini follow focus on here, and I'll tell you why I'm not actually gonna use a wireless follow focus in just a minute. Next, we're gonna add a top handle to the camera. That way we can easily pick up the rig and I can mount a monitor to it. So before I do that, what I'm using here is a small rig NATO mount handle. And then on the side here, I have some 1/4-20 threads where I'm gonna be mounting a little piece of NATO rail, and I'll tell you why I'm doing that in just a second. There we go, now I can easily lift and move the rig around, but really this is here so that I can mount a monitor. So the way I'm doing that is with this small rig EVF mount, but you can also use it for a monitor, and it uses a NATO clamp. So I'm actually going to clamp onto the NATO rail that we just put on up here. And then we're actually going to hang the monitor from the top here. So what I'm using today is the Atomos Ninja 5, as everyone wants me to call it, not the Ninja V. Let me show you just how that monitor placement is. So it's just far enough away from my face to where I can get focus, see things, and it's not too close. And if you need to adjust the angle, you can do that. Just loosen this here and then you can tilt it so that the viewing angle is just right for you. Now we're gonna mount a matte box to this, and of course I'm using the PolarPro Base Camp, which I've talked about so much on the channel. It's my absolute favorite. Has a variable ND filter built into it. It's just incredible. There's so many different filters you can throw in here. So I'm just actually going to clamp this to the front of the lens. I already have the adapter on there. There are a lot of little features hidden in this shoulder rig that I've got to show you. So if you don't want your arms up this high, that's fine. Just pull these little gold tabs, just like you do on the rest of them, and boom, they extend out. And they can go pretty far. They can go up to about 150 millimeters. So you just lock it into place, and look at that. Much more comfortable stance. Your arms aren't nearly up as high anymore. You can relax them a lot more. I absolutely love that adjustability. And if you need to reach up to adjust your focus, obviously you can just hold your hand here and pull focus here on the side. Now, something I do wish you could add a little bit more easily to this rig would be a wireless follow focus. Typically, you add that to a airy rosette mount at the bottom of your handle, which this doesn't have. It does have a 1/4 thread, so maybe you could find a way to adapt that. That's something I might figure out in the future. I'm typically using the Nucleus Nano side focus grip, and I've shown this a ton on the channel. Mine has an airy rosette on it, and unfortunately, it just won't screw into the side here and get tight and stay in place. And there's really no other spot to put it. PolarPro did add some hidden air rosettes, and they're actually behind these gold caps. So you just unscrew these to reveal them. Now for me, I can't use this still because then this thing will mount really awkwardly high, and I obviously can't hold my hand up here. So I have actually seen other users use the Tilta Nucleus M, which actually mounts more upside down like this. So it's like this, and then they can put the grip here and it's more comfortable. Now my workaround for that was actually to add another little small rig arm that has air rosette. So I don't recommend doing it this way, but you could screw this in the top here. And there you go. You could absolutely use this if you wanted to, like this. But it is a little bit funny to have that extra arm, and of course it's something else that you gotta pack. Maybe in a version 2, they'll put an air rosette on the bottom here, or sell some sort of accessory to be able to add it. You've already seen how these arms slip down, but I wanna show you how you can quickly make adjustments to them if you wanna change the angle. So these buttons should be facing you. When I put this on earlier, I had it backwards, so just be aware of that. You can quickly put your thumb on there, and then just change the angle. I don't know why you'd put it up here, but you could. And then, you know, it just locks into place wherever you want. When it comes to the actual shoulder pad, there's a few different ways you could use this. Right now, I have it folded in on itself, and the cushion is facing down and on top of my shoulder. But if you want a little bit more support, you can actually flip this down at a 90-degree angle, and then it hooks around the back of your shoulder. And it just adds a lot of extra kind of support, and because now it can push against the grips here and it's getting stopped by that. So it actually feels a lot more stable. And if you need to rest, you can kind of rest it like this. Obviously be careful, don't let it fall off, but you can see how you could rest a little bit more because it hooks there. The final way you could rock this is put it back down at a 90-degree angle and then press it up against your chest. Now let me show you one of my favorite little hidden features. This is so cool, and I cannot believe it's built into this, honestly. So you push this little black button, pull the gold tab out, and then check this out. There's a full-on riser built into this. Like, what? And just lock it back in place. So if you needed to raise up your camera for some reason, maybe to line up with your matte box if you have it mounted on the 15mm rods, you could quickly do that. And look at that. It has 25mm of adjustment, which is just incredible. So I'm gonna put it back down, lock it into place, but holy cow, hidden away inside of this in a little secret compartment, you have a riser. That's absolutely amazing. Now, really quickly, I want to show you how if you don't like using monitors, you could actually use an EVF. Well, here I have the Portkeys Lie SDI, and I'm just going to mount this really quickly. And there we go, it lands exactly where I want it to for my eye. You know that you can throw on an EVF with this shoulder rig and it's going to work really nicely. Now let's say that you're done getting all of your shoulder rig shots for the day. That's okay. Let me show you how quickly you can remove these shoulder rig components and keep on shooting with the rest of the rig. So I have this V-mount battery on the back, which does get in the way when I want to remove this. So it just takes an extra step. And there we go. Now I have a full-on 15mm rod rig, and I could go handheld with this, or maybe I could throw it onto a tripod or slider if I wanted to, because the rig itself still has a nice Manfrotto quick release plate on the bottom. So I could just throw this right onto my tripod, lock it down, and boom, check that out. I can keep on going and filming all with the same rig, get onto the slider. Man, that is just beautiful to be able to quickly swap between them without doing a bunch of new rigging. Now, you might be saying, that's cool, Chad, but I like to use gimbals. Don't worry, they've thought of that too. So let's go ahead and, again, take this off the top, just like this, unplug the power cables. And then there are a couple components I need to quickly remove. First one, mat box. No tools required. The next thing is my top handle, which is a NATO rail, so it's quick release. And boom, just like that, I'm free of everything. I just need to remove these cables plugged in. And now you can quickly throw it onto whatever gimbal you have. The shoulder rig has a really high quality feel to it, and most of the parts are made of a machined aluminum. Now, besides a couple of the little things I already mentioned, I really only have good things to say about the pivot. And it's actually pretty cool because while PolarPro was doing research and development for this shoulder rig, I was able to consult with them and give them some feedback over the course of about a year. And it's really cool to actually see it in real life and not just rendering. So I want to say a special thanks to them for sending this out for review. And if you guys want to pick one up, definitely check out the link in the description below. And I'm gonna show you some footage I got with the shoulder rig in an upcoming video. So stay tuned for that and hit subscribe right now. All right, I'll see you in the next video.